Saltwater Guide podcast here Friday, big day. We're bringing in Bill DePriest and Anthony Hsieh are both joining us today to let you all know what's going on at the Orange County Fairgrounds on March 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. And we have Bill DePriest joining us today, and then we're going to follow up a little bit later in the show with Anthony Hsieh and talk all about War Heroes on Water. And Bill is a huge supporter of War Heroes on Water. Not only has he been involved on different boats every year during the War Heroes, but he also has made sure that he has done everything he possibly can to support War Heroes. And the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show at the Orange County Fairgrounds is going to have a lot for the War Heroes. A lot of things are going to be going on for the War Heroes during the show. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss what we're going to talk about today. Hit that share button on the bottom. Hit the like button on YouTube. Let everybody know what's going on here by sharing this. It'll help let everybody know, because War Heroes on Water is such a great event. But Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show at the Orange County Fairgrounds is going to be absolutely insane this year. Kelly Girl and I are super excited about it. We can't hardly wait. We talk about it every day on the show. We're super excited. Kelly Girl's been packing and figuring out what she's going to wear every day. Every day she's pulling stuff out of the suitcase, putting it in. We are fired up, and we will see everybody on Thursday at the show. But hey, gang, I want to show you a quick little commercial about the show, and then we'll bring Bill in here real quick. You got that ready, Elliot?
The 2024 fishing and boating season at the most exciting saltwater, freshwater, and recreational outdoor show in Southern California at the amazing Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, Orange County Fair and Event Center, March 7th through the 10th. Trout ponds for the kids and an unbelievable lineup of seminars with the most knowledgeable and experienced captains, guides, and professionals in the business. Over 3 acres of exhibits, boats, and incredible early season discounts. Bring the entire family. Orange County Fair and Event Center, March 7th through the 10th.
Bill DePriest, welcome to the show. Jump in here, buddy. Hey, welcome, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Oh, I am so excited. Once again, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. I have been a part of this with you since the very first day, and this is going to be the show. This is incredible. Why don't you let everybody know what year this is, how long you've been doing this, and what do we got planned for this year?
So this is the show started 15 years ago. It's actually our 14th year hosting the event, because 2021 during COVID, we could not run an event. We started, like I said, 15 years ago. We started in the smallest building at the fairgrounds in the Huntington Beach building. And our goal was to produce a show that was very pure to fishing. You know, it didn't have a lot of the filler stuff. And people could go in, and every booth meant something to them, instead of a bunch of booths that didn't match up with their interests. So we kept it in that building. We ran over to the hangar building for 1 year, and then we moved to the Costa Mesa building that we were in for, I think, 7 years, which is the largest fairgrounds building. Then in 2022, when we started back in after COVID, we went ahead and took 3 buildings and did our big expansion, and kind of put, you know, all the funds that we could make for the show all the way back in to try to really build this thing up into, you know, the largest show in Southern California. And then last year we went ahead and took the entire fairgrounds, so 7 halls, the whole main mall. It's like 217,000 square feet. Filled it up and crossed our fingers that the lines were going to be big and it was going to feel full, and it went really well. So here we are on our 14th show. We went ahead and moved all the boat spaces out to the center and in the promenade and the pavilion. And that made room for almost 100 new 10 by 10s, just shy of 100 new 10 by 10s to add more vendors that wanted in from last year, and just greatly expanded the offerings that we have there. So you can see on that map, I mean, every building is filled to the absolute brim with what we can. We moved the main Penn Berkeley stage into the hangar building. It's a really cool, centrally located. That building's super square and just makes for a great environment for the main seminar stage. And then our Daiwa stage is out in the patio near the Huntington Beach building. So we're going to have 2 seminar stages, one in the hangar, which will be the normal saltwater private boater style stuff. The Daiwa stage has some of that. It has some sport boat. It has some freshwater bass, some freshwater trout. It has a whole mix of stuff. So both of them are really good seminar areas. And yeah, the fairgrounds is just completely filled up. So we're really excited.
Yeah, real quick, talk about the seminars. There's somebody, and we're going to bring Anthony Hsieh in here in a few minutes to talk about the War Heroes, because that is near and dear to both of our hearts, and we're so proud to be involved with it. But you're going to have someone on the stage that is the guru of fishing. Anthony Hsieh is blessed to have him as his captain. And you're going to have him and Air Pelikia on. This is like the most incredible seminar. I can't even comprehend. I am so happy that you put me where I'm at so I don't miss this. My booth is right next to the main stage. But just talk about that seminar. I mean, you have a bunch of great seminars, but I'm telling you, this guy and Air Pelikia, it's going to be awfully quiet listening to those two guys.
Yeah, so between the two of them, I mean, obviously Steve had an extensive career in chasing swordfish on the surface. I think he probably understands the fish better than anybody that I've ever witnessed. And then you have Carl on Air Pelikia, which he's covered more water, more miles of water in search of these swordfish than probably anybody alive. So you put the two of them together and go over the details of these fish and the migratory patterns and you know, their behaviors and why they're in different areas. And, you know, these guys don't just stumble across fish. They know what conditions they're looking for and when to be looking. And, you know, you put all that together, and that seminar is going to be incredible. I mean, Carl's photography and his videos of tuna and dorado and marlin and swordfish is just, if you look him up on Instagram, Air Pelikia, his footage is just absolutely incredible. He's seen it all. So that one's going to be super, super incredible. We have a deep drop one Thursday evening on that stage. That's Joe Daly. He's a guide out of Oceanside. He also commercial fishes them on hook and line. Bryce Herman from up in Oxnard. And then Dylan from the Bite. I mean, those are 3 guys that are extremely dialed on the deep drop swordfish stuff. So we've got kind of the surface stuff, and then we've got the deep drop on Thursday night with 3 guides. It's going to be incredible. And then from the large bluefin side of things, you know, we've got Dwayne Diego and his crew from the Pinnacle Sportfishing. We've got Brandon Hayward and his guys from the Bite. These are 2 of the top guides that are on this with multiple boats, and they each have different days that they're on. So if you go to all of these seminars, you get a completely different look at how to catch these fish. That one's really exciting. Sunday morning, we've got Dave Marciano from Wicked Tuna, Ali Husseini from BD Outdoors, and Dave Hansen talking that East Coast, West Coast tuna tactics. You know, it's going to be very interesting to talk about the different things that they do and the different things we do, and what we've kind of blended together to work on both coasts. So that kind of stuff's exciting. I mean, we have everything from calico bass to white sea bass and yellowtail at the islands with all the top captains. It's just what we've put together in the freshwater bass side of things with Oliver Inge and I mean, we have all of these bass pros, and it's amazing what you know, obviously it's the support of these guys that make this happen. It's not us. It's, you know, it's these guys and their willingness to come and speak on the stage and give their information to the anglers. You know, it's them that makes this happen.
Well, and we thank you very much for allowing all of us to come and share our experience and everything else that's going on. One thing that's really unique, though, about your show is what you're doing with the War Heroes. War Heroes has a booth at the show where you can come and you can talk to the guys and you can find out how this event has changed, not their lives, us, the captains and the crews that go out on the boats with these guys and spend their time and give it back to these men and women who have given everything they could possibly give. And all of this is revolving around your show, but to go and to see these guys and gals and talk to them and listen to what they have to say, gang. They've changed it. This event has changed my life. This event has changed me deeply, my heart, my brain, everything about me, because I really didn't understand the give that these men and women have given. And then when Anthony invited me to come and be a part of this thing, and I was on the very beginning, and I'm still there, and I do everything I can to be a part of this. And I love what you're doing and how you've revolved the show around the war heroes. So in a couple of seconds, we're going to bring the man in who started this thing because of the love for our country and the men and women. And I just I can't talk about it enough. I talk about it all the time on the show, and I'm just so happy. And last year, you and I got to be together as a part of this thing. It is just such a spectacular thing. Talk about that for a second, then we'll bring Anthony in here, because I know he's a busy man and he's standing by to talk.
Yeah, for us, as we migrated to become the largest fishing boat and travel show in Southern California, we really felt the need to give back. And you know, I've already been involved with this tournament and being on boats and being around these guys. And like you said, completely a game changer, completely life-changing experience to spend time with these guys. And when we had the opportunity to bring this many people through, to be able to speak with these guys and be able to help raise money for them, it was number one on our list. So they're in booth 504, 505. You can go and speak with Rod, who's the head of the tournament. You can meet some of these vets. And then we have a silent auction. We have an event on Friday night that's just for vendors. It's not open to the public, but we have a silent auction that you guys can donate products to. If you have a company that you can donate toward construction or an airplane ride or whatever you have, we do a silent auction. Last year, I think we raised between $60,000 and $65,000 for the guys. We're really reaching for 100 this year. But the difference you can make by donating stuff and helping these guys out and being involved is anybody you meet that's been involved in this tournament will tell you that it's life-changing for us, like you said, as much or more than the guys that we're helping.
So let's take a minute, because this man's super busy, but he's spending a few minutes with us. I want to talk to Anthony, and I want to know how this whole thing came around, because there's a lot of people that don't, they listen to me every day talk about this, Anthony. And so could you come in here and just give us a heads up on how you started this whole thing?
Hey boys. Woohoo. Good to see you guys. Bill, what's happening? Well, it really goes back to, I take out a vet here and there. It's always been fun during the day, but I don't remember the original idea, but we decided to take 8 wounded vets on a Cabo trip for 4 days. And it's been 8-9 years now, so I really don't recall the exact motivation, but we just felt like it was the right thing to do in our heart. So we contacted Freedom Alliance and asked them for help to give us 8 individuals to take. And we took 8 vets on my jet, and put them up in hotels and took them fishing in Cabo for 3 days. And because it was a planned trip, we had a lot of swag for them, and I actually made a custom rod and reel, and also others donated to give these guys, some gifts, sunglasses, rods and reels, I think sandals, shorts and stuff. So once we got into Cabo, and keep in mind that they just, went on a private jet and they're really excited. But as soon as they stepped aboard the boat, and the 92 Jones Goodell that was in Cabo, and we had all their swag laid out on the table, and they walked in and they see all the colorful, shirts and hats and rods, and they said, "What is all this?" And we said, "Well, this is for you. This is our gift to you." And 3 of the 8 just they just couldn't hold back. They just started crying. And I remember one of them had to sit down. It was just an overwhelming sort of response of appreciation from them. And after that trip, I just felt like, how do I do this, on a little bigger scale? And then the following year, along with the help of a few, and particularly Mike Naris, World Heroes on Water was born, and we're now going into the the 8th annual now, I think. And I want to thank both of you, Dave, and as well as Bill, for being, such amazing supporter of this event.
Yeah, well, I thank you so much for letting me be a part of it since the very beginning, because it means a ton to me, and being there every year, I make sure that I give everything I have for these men and women, because it means a ton to me. And I'm super excited about coming to the show and seeing you. I know you're going to be there on Friday night. That's going to be phenomenal. And seeing the guys, and Mike Nars going to be on the show on Thursday morning, like we did with Rod last year. We're going to kick the show off with Mike and Rod and a couple more of the War Heroes. And then here we go. And guys want to stop by, listen, the thing Anthony says all the time, and like he said on our show a couple of months ago, if you have a boat, we need boats. We need boats. We need boats. We got crews. We got captain. We got people that will jump in and help, but we need your boat. Anthony, we need boats, right?
Yes, sir. We do. So that is the, number one ingredient to make this tournament work. We fly in, you just imagine the logistics, but we fly in up to 150 wounded vets from all over the country. Some of them even, international, live in Costa Rica and such. So we put them all together in a controlled environment, and we monitor them, make sure that they're doing okay. But every boat that is donated into the tournament allows us to take 2 to 3 war veterans. And there's such a great community in Southern California, but unfortunately we have reached a peak over the last couple of years where we're kind of topping out around 50 yachts. We like to have 35, 40 feet on up. A 50 or 60 footer is really ideal, because you're really taking 2 or 3 vets with you on your vessel 24 hours a day for 2 nights. And just keep in mind, those of you that have neighbors, have families, if you have a 40, 50, 60 footer that's, tied up in a marina and is not being used during the 3rd week of September, please make sure that those boats are contributed into this tournament, because it saves lives. And having the ability to give like that and allow your vessel, which you have, it's there, turn the key, start the motors, and take a vet, take 2 to 3 vets fishing, and it will not only potentially save a life, but it just might change yours as well.
Yeah, Mike Nars is joining us. He's watching the show right there. He just threw up a thing saying hi to you and me and Bill. Gang, you don't understand, gang, how important this is. When we're driving around Newport Harbor for the parade, and the men and women see all of you standing on the docks, waving the American flag, it is one of the most unbelievable things to watch the men and women's faces, because they don't understand how important they are to all of us. And it brings so much emotion to every one of them. And it brings emotion to me and Anthony and Bill when we stand on the boats as we drive around the harbor and see all of you. You can get involved at any level. At just being there is a great level to be involved. But if you, like Anthony says, when we're driving around the harbor in Newport and we see your boats tied to the dock, it doesn't make sense to us, because your boat's sitting there tied to the dock. You need to be a part of this, gang. You need to really, really be a part of this. And what you've done, Anthony, is incredible. And Bill, the way you've wrapped this show around the War Heroes and the fundraising that you're doing the night of Friday night, it's incredible. That's Anthony's house. We have a huge party at your house as we load the vets on. It's incredible, right?
Yeah, the energy, it's the excitement, the appreciation, the love of country, just the overall spirit of appreciation for our vets is what they need. They need to feel, like they matter. They're all wounded, which means that to the U.S. government, they don't matter anymore. So they're damaged goods. Wounded means they're damaged goods, and they can't fight for their country anymore, no matter how much they want to. And many of them have, very dark memories of their brothers and sisters that were left behind. and they feel like they have unfinished business. And it's just very hard for them to get back into society like you and I do. So this little bit of appreciation that they feel for these 4 days, look, it may seem like just a 4 day event to you and I, but it's not just a 4 day event to them. For them, it's a life changing event, and many of them, utilize it as this as a starting point for healing. And Dave will tell you, and so will Bill, is you make lifelong friends with them, and throughout the year, you maintain contact, and they meaning the vets will often leverage you throughout the year to ask for advice and friendship and support. So if you have a boat that's just sitting there, it's just a shame. It really is a shame.
Right. It is. It's kind of weird when we see the boats sitting there as we're doing this. We even see people standing on them, waving the American flag. It's like, get involved, folks. It'll change your life. You can't understand how much it will change your life. Bill, real quick, we're going to jump back with you for a minute. Talk about how these people, how everybody that's watching right now can get involved with the silent auction, donating to war heroes. And Anthony and I, we did this show a couple months ago, and we talked about this. Just because we're doing this show, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Orange County Fairgrounds, that's not the only time to donate. Freedom Alliance is doing stuff for the men and women every single day, and it takes the whole country. We need everybody to be involved. If you have $1, it'll change their life. If you got $10, $100, whatever amount of money you can give, you don't understand, just give, please, because let alone do we need the boats, we need your donations. We need, if you have product, everybody needs whatever you have, whatever you're selling, whatever you're doing for a living, you can donate it and it will help, and somebody will bid on it and someone will use it and the money will go to the war heroes. It absolutely, yeah, not Mike Nars. It absolutely will save people's lives, people that really matter. Bill?
Yeah, we definitely, anything can be donated to the silent auction. That's open for people to bid on it to the public. Friday night is the fundraiser night that we do for our vendors, but it is a complete, if you're a company and you want to get involved and sponsor that Friday night event, if you want to get involved and donate some of your product, it all helps. And I can tell you from being at these events, again, it's life changing. I mean, I'm going to probably fly down my 2 oldest boys to come help this year. Anybody that can get involved in this, I'm telling you, it's as much for, you will get more out of it than you would ever believe. There's no question. I still talk to these guys all the time. They'll send you out. One of our guys sent out a special unit flag to me. It's amazing. These guys are just, they do not feel as if they deserve this stuff. It's amazing. I mean, they're constantly thanking us, and it's like, man, it's very hard to accept a thank you from somebody like that. These guys, they deserve the thank you. That's nothing like it.
And Anthony, I know you're super busy, so I thank you so much for being on here and what you do for these men and women. I mean, the stories of the give back that you give is incredible. You're there, you answer the phone, you're always constantly talking to these men and women all the time. It's just an amazing story of give back for such an amazing, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to say an amazing human being, what you've done, starting out your career working on sport boats and where you are at today. And then you give back like nobody's. I mean, there's a lot of people that say they give back, but you're the real deal. And I thank you so much for that.
Thanks, man. I mean, fundraising is year round with the support of, wonderful folks like you and Bill. Look, he's going out of his way to give, exposure to War Heroes on Water and put in his own time. So, I'm just the idea guy that started it, but it's the community that rallies around all of this. And I'm proud to say that every year for the last 4 years, we have raised more than $1 million of cash for this event. Last year, we ended up at 1.2 million. So for a one, sort of once a year event, and for a relatively new event, 7 or 8 years old, for it to have this much traction It really is a tremendous success. But we have enough for funding. We just don't have enough boats. So we turn away, and I need everybody to understand this. But every year, our vets want to come back. But every year, we turn 60% of them away. Let me say that again. Every year, our vets want to come back, but 60%, more than half, we say no to them because we want to bring in a new batch, 60% a new batch, new wounded heroes coming in to experience this event. So we're turning vets away because we don't have enough boats. But while we're cruising the harbor, we see all these boats that are tied up, not being used. It's just a shame. So again, if you can help me spread the word, get the word out. We need boats.
And like I told you guys before we brought Anthony in here, hit the like button and the share button. You're going to be able to share this with all of your friends. All you got to do is hit that share button and you'll be blown away at how many people this will touch. And you have no idea who has a boat, who has a friend that has a boat. We don't like hearing that we have to leave men and women standing on the dock because we don't have enough boats. That's so silly when you look around California and you see all the boats. There's just really no reason for it. And it's in September. It's a time where you can all be involved. There's no reason. I know you wanted to go catch a tomcod that day, but really let us use your boat and let's take the men and women out. Please let us use your boats. It's super important. And if you don't have a captain, we have captains that want to be involved. We have deckhands that want to be involved. We'd love you to be on the boat with us as the owner. You can be there. But if you're worried about not having a captain, we got the captains. We got the crews. We got what it needs. We just need your boat. And I don't know what else.
If I can just say something real quick, I'm looking at a comment right now from John Milton, and it said that what he wrote is, thank you guys for this. He's a U.S. Navy veteran from the war that everyone hated, and it's just important that as a vet and you give your all for this country, that we as civilians are proud of them, and not the other way around. So it's just that type of appreciation, and you feel that as a vet for 4 to 5 days, where the entire community is there to pay our gratitude. It makes a huge difference for them as they continue to travel down sort of their path to healing. So again, I can't say enough other than put in your boat, or if you know somebody, or your boss, or your family, your neighbor, whoever, if you know somebody with a boat, please pick up the phone, send them a text, give them a call, send them an email, tell them to log on to worldheroesonwater.com. It's the third week of September. We need their boat for 4 days, and it's going to change someone's life.
Yeah, like Anthony was saying, I see some people on here saying you got a smaller boat or whatever. Just understand, we're taking these men and women out for 4 days out on the water. So the boat has to be able to handle that. And there's plenty of boats in California, so that's not a problem. It's just we need everyone to get involved. So those of you with the smaller boats, come and be a part of the parade. Come to Catalina, be a part of the ceremony at the end when we are in front of Avalon, and you have the flyover, Anthony, and it's just every part of it is phenomenal. But if you got a smaller boat, you want to just come over there and be a part of, meet all the guys on the pier when we're doing the weigh-ins. There's just so many parts of this you can be involved in. Just because your boat's small doesn't mean you can't be a part of. Right?
That's right. I mean, we for fishing, we need a larger vessel. We thought about potentially starting a smaller boat division and fish a different tournament, and have boats come back in and have the vets go back into their hotel. But that's still in the discussion phase. What we're really hoping for is to get another 10 to 20 more, larger boats, because we feel like part of the healing process is to have them, wake up on the boat and wake up while they're on the water, watching that sunrise and watching the sunset. That there's some, you know, we all love the ocean, but to share that with a vet is just an incredible experience. To share that feeling with them 24 hours a day for 2.5 days, 3 days. It's just an amazing feeling to share that with somebody. You know, our love of the ocean, and we get to share it with somebody.
Yeah, honestly, the evenings on the boat with the guys, you see guys open up and talk. And I know for a fact, because I actually had a guy that I personally know was involved this year. And I know that they talk about things that they don't talk about with anybody. You know, these experiences to talk with other vets in the evening on the boat, sitting around, talking about the day, and those conversations turn to the stuff that they need to get out. And it's a special time that I don't think you can make happen anywhere.
And you know what's really cool is Bill and I are rotating deckhands, rotating captains. We're on a different boat every time. Every time the tournament goes off, we're out with a different owner. And I'll tell you what, gang, it changes the men and women, the war heroes' lives. But listen, when I watch the different owners that I've been with over the last 7 years, when I watch those owners, they're blown away by the feelings they have. A lot of these owners are just, they had no idea. When they donate their boat, they're thinking, oh, it's another donation I'm doing. When they walk away, they're like, how do I, the second it's over, they want to make sure that they're involved. They call Rod up right away. They want to make sure they're involved. Gang, this, like Bill and I had said, and Anthony said, this changes not only the men and women, the war heroes, but it changes your life. And it gives you so much more respect for what the men and women have done for our country. So don't leave your boat tied to the dock this year. Please don't leave your boat tied to the dock. You got anything else to add, Anthony, before you jump out of here?
You trying to get rid of me?
No, not at all. I just thought you were busy. Elliot said we need to respect your time.
No, I'll stay as long as you guys need me to.
Oh, good.
Especially talking about War Heroes on Water and you know, and just seeing Bill. I mean, Bill and I, you know, pretty much grew up together, and I just wish we had more time and other ways to share, you know, sort of some of the feelings and memories that we have with these guys. You know, it's amazing to see the bonding that when we pick 3 vets for a boat, many of them don't know each other. So sometimes they do, you know, sometimes they served together, but most of the time they don't know each other. They're from different branches, you know, whether you have, you have Army versus, you know, Navy, or Army versus the Marines. And I'll tell you what, within 5 minutes, they're like lifelong brothers and sisters. I mean, they bond immediately like that. And you can start hearing them talk story with each other right away. And they don't really talk to us until we get through a whole day. And usually the second dinner is heavy for me. I don't know what your experiences have been like, but usually the second dinner, everyone starts opening up and it gets really, really heavy. And, you know, tears and emotions it's real, man. I mean, we complain about long lines at Starbucks, and you know, these guys are blown up, and you know, they have memories that they can't even describe or want to talk about. So look, we're Americans. We live in the greatest country in the world. There's not even a close second, and there's a reason for that, and the biggest reason is our brave soldiers.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest learning experiences for me is that you can't judge how somebody is wounded by looking at them. You know, there are guys that are tore up, and there's no question physically you look at them and you feel like you feel for that guy. And you got to remember, for every guy that's been tore up in something, there were 4 other guys there or 6 other guys there that were involved in that and watched their brothers be killed. And those guys have wounds that don't show on the outside. And that's what learning and talking to these guys, you know, you have a different level of respect when you walk down the street and you don't know where that guy's been or what that guy's been through. That was game changer for me to see that there's a lot of people that don't have outside wounds that need your help more than anybody.
Yeah, and that parade I can't talk about it enough, gang. When we do the parade through Newport Harbor and the men and women see all the support of everybody on their boats waving the American flag, the bridges, it's incredible the amount of people that come out, Anthony, that come out to give their support and stand there. And I remember the first year that we did the parade through Newport Harbor, and the couple of the guys that were on the boat with me turned around and they said, I had no idea that people cared. I had no idea. And it got me so that they don't know that you care. That is the hardest thing for me to understand, is that they gave the ultimate sacrifice and they had no idea that you and I and Bill cared about them. They just didn't know. And then to see the hundreds of people standing there, it changes. Look at this is the parade. This is just such an incredible event, gang. I can't emphasize it enough how you want to become part of this. Right, Anthony?
Yeah, man. I mean, there's so many stories. I'll just give you one that I didn't talk about on air last time. 4 years ago, we had a vet that was struggling, and this is probably mid-year, 4 or 5 months after the event, and I noticed on Facebook, that he was down. So I called him, and he admitted that he was in a very, very dark spot, that he wasn't in a very good spot. And I knew that immediately he was in the danger zone. Look, the dark part of this is suicide rate among wounded vets are extraordinarily high. You really don't have the right stats. You can Google it, and you'll see, there's a lot of different stats, but suicide is real. Every one of these guys and gals have multiple brothers and sisters that have committed suicide after they got out of the military. And, these guys and gals go overseas to try to defend our freedom, which is a perfect purpose. And they get wounded and they're no longer good to the U.S. government. They come home and then they end up taking their own lives. That needs to stop. That just absolutely needs to stop. And so this individual, I said, look, I'm taking 2 days off work. I'm going to send the jet, and your ass is coming with me for 3 days. And we flew him out. I hung out with him, beers and tacos for 3 days. We had some serious talks. And, it's things like that make a huge difference. He didn't do that to get any attention. These guys go through it. Every one of them will tell you they go through it. Some of them, when they get dark, it lasts for hours, days, weeks, months, and they can't snap out of it. And when they can't snap out of it, there's only way to end it. And that's what you don't want.
Right. It's so heavy when you talk to these guys and gals and find out that they really believe in their heart that nobody cares. Gang, you don't understand. They really in their heart believe no one cares. And it's up to us to let them know that we do care. And that's why Bill, this, let's just be honest. This show is a huge undertaking for Bill. And it's a big deal. And it's a big deal for him and his family. But he's taken this giant chunk of this phenomenal show, and this is an awesome show. You're going to love it. The amount of exhibitors, the amount of tackle, the amount of fun that's going to be had at this show. But he has taken that, and because he understands, because he's been on the back deck with these men and women. He knows what's going on. And so he's taken this, gang. You have to understand, Bill has done something really phenomenal by giving back to War Heroes and locking up that Friday night, the exhibitors night, where we put together a whole bunch of stuff, and we have to come together with all the exhibitors so that everybody that's exhibiting at the show understands how important War Heroes is to all of us. And unless you sit down and you talk to one of these guys or one of these gals, you really don't understand. And so, Bill, I want to thank you again so much for making this show about War Heroes, because it could be not about it, but you make sure every year that you make sure that you give back. And that is a phenomenal thing. Thank you so much, Bill.
Yeah, I think that's just the least we can do. But one thing that I really wanted to say, my first year and sitting back and talking with these guys, one of the biggest things that as a regular citizen, we think that the VA is there to help these guys and it's no problem at all. I heard multiple stories of guys that were on the verge of killing themselves and they had their counseling appointments canceled. It took them a year to get into a counseling appointment. And right before they went in, they were canceled. It takes a lot of, putting their pride away to even ask for help, and to have our government not be there when they need it is just, it blew me away as a citizen. I had no clue. I thought that that's readily available, easy for them to get to, and it's truly not. That's where special, unique events like this, they are there for these guys because my belief, I guess it's stupid as a citizen. I thought these guys come back and they're well taken care of and any counseling they need and anything is really accessible. And from talking to these guys, it truly is not. It is very difficult for them to get help and it's difficult for them to ask for help. So these kind of things just bridge that gap between coming back and getting that help. I think this is that bridge that gets them to that step to, move to the next level and work it out and try to get past the stuff and become try to get past their issues. And it never goes away, but with help, these guys can live regular lives and some of these guys are amazing dads. I think their kids probably have no clue what heroes their fathers are or their mothers are, because it doesn't get talked about. So to me, that's the help is not readily available. These kind of things, these donations you guys do, helping out with this tournament, this is the help that they're not readily given.
Right. And you're not going to see a bunch about this in the media. You're not going to see a bunch about it. You're going to hear about it here. You're going to hear about it at Bill's show. You're going to see on with Anthony and the Bad Company World Tour, you're going to see stuff about it. But gang, it's a year-round thing. It has to be year-round. You have to be thinking about the men and women year-round, and we're doing everything we can to push this out in front of everybody. And Anthony, you do a phenomenal job. I can't say it enough, and I can't thank you enough for allowing me to be a part of this. It's just so awesome to be involved with all the men and women. And yeah, they became really good friends of mine and we talk a lot. There's a lot of guys we text back and forth with all the time that I would have never been a part, never even would have known what was going on. I was in my own little bubble until you brought this up to me. So thank you very much for that.
Oh man, you're welcome. Thank you, Dave. And I know Mike Naris is watching this right now. And, Mike has become a dear friend, and Mike was partially responsible. We came up with the World Heroes on Water idea when Mike and I were in Costa Rica together. So, and Mike just, he just typed out, we lose 22 to suicide every day. So this is real. That's over 8,000 of our heroes a year take their own lives. And you gotta keep in mind that, that some little boy or some little girl just lost their mom or dad when that happens.
Yeah, it's about as real as it gets, gang. It's about as real as it gets. So on Friday night, are you going to be there, Anthony?
Oh, yeah, I will be there.
Nice. Look at that. Catching fish, War Heroes. The fish is the added extra bonus when we're out there on the water, gang. It's just the camaraderie and being together with the guys. Bill will tell you, Anthony will tell you, there's just nothing like it being there with the guys. But Friday night, Bill, what's it going to be like?
So Friday night, we get our vendors together, the ones that want to be involved with the program. We have a band, and it's a place and a time for these people to be in real life with we all hear about things, right? So we hear about these vets, and when you actually get to shake hands and stand there and talk with some of these guys and the people that put this on, Rod Halprin, and I was lucky, a few years back to be on a boat with Josh Miles. He unfortunately passed away, but he was an amazing person involved with this event. I mean, we ended up hooking a surface swordfish and fighting it for, I think, 5 hours with the group of us. And it was, when you get a chance, like I said, these vendors are going to get to actually shake hands and talk with some of these vets and see what this is. And there's no way to not be involved after you feel what this what this organization does for these guys. And like I said, the people that are running it are the nicest, most courteous, giving of their time people you'd ever meet. I mean, they're there for the right reasons. They're not there to make money. They're there to be there for our vets. And then there's nothing like it that I know of.
Yeah, Anthony, just talk about the donating thing for just a few minutes. We're almost done with the show, but I think this is, and we're not begging for your money, gang. We're just letting you know what we are all doing and what this is all about and how important this is. I think we need to touch on that for just a second.
Yeah, actually, I have no shame. We are begging for your money. So, I every year I come out of pocket every year, not only with finances, but with lots of donations. So keep in mind that every dollar goes to the Freedom Alliance, and it's a tax write-off. And the Freedom Alliance, if you're interested to read up on it, provide all types of healing programs, as well as college tuitions for some of the lost men and women's children. That just overall helps the military community to get back on its feet. I had the wonderful opportunity to get to know the people of that organization, including Oliver North. It's the real deal. And, I support it. I back it. I donate to it because I know every dollar is going to do good. So whatever you can do, contribute your time. If you want to find out what you can do, please get on the website and submit your inquiry. We'll, no donations too big or too small. Last year we had an anonymous donor of $200,000. Not anonymous to me, but he wanted to remain anonymous. He just texted me, actually direct messaged me on Instagram and said, "I've been watching this for 3 years and I can't stand it anymore. I'm donating $200,000." It just tugs at your heart. And, and that was it's just amazing stuff.
Yeah, it is. It makes me tear up big time. And I know when I talked to Steve Lasley, this has totally changed his life. And the guy is just totally into the war heroes. He cannot give enough of himself. It's wonderful when you hear Steve talk about this whole thing and how it's changed his life. And you and him are doing some amazing things, but man, it brings him right back down to center when we go do this war heroes thing. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, gang. I want to make sure that you all understand how incredible it is. That's why I brought Anthony on the show today. Bill and I could have easily just done this all about Bill's show, all about Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, but we wanted to make sure that you understand what is going on with War Heroes on Water and how important it is to Bill, how important it is to Anthony, how important it is to me. And I hope that you all feel it in your heart today while you're listening to us and understand how important it could be to all of you. And like Anthony said, okay, let's just be honest. We're begging for your money because we don't want to leave anybody sitting at the dock. We don't want to let any of these guys or gals not understand the camaraderie that you get. Bill, there's nothing that compares to sitting on the back deck, eating a steak or eating some lobsters or eating something, talking to these men and women, right? It is an incredible thing when you're sitting at Clemente.
You can't describe it. You really can't. You really, to experience that and talk to these people, it's, again, it's life-changing for us. Like I said, I went home and sat down my boys again. I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. And I told them, I said, next year I'm flying you both down there and you guys are going to help because I want you to see and be proud of our country.
And when you talk to these men and women, Anthony, they don't have any regret. No, I mean, Brian, good friend of mine now, and he's missing his arm and his hand and his legs, and he doesn't have any regrets. He said he'll do it again tomorrow. He'll do it again tomorrow. But like you said, the government threw him away because they're injured, so they can't do it. But you would think when I sat down and talked to Brian, I'd be like, aren't you pissed? And he's like, no, I'll do it again tomorrow, Dave. I don't care. When I touched those two wires and the bomb blew up in my lap, I only thought how many people I just saved by doing this. That's all. That's what goes through these men and women's minds, gang. So you don't, until you talk to them, until you live with them, and we just get to live with them for 3 or 4 days on the boat, you don't understand. You really just don't get it. You had a great story you told last time we were together about Caleb and being out on the boat with you, and all these different men and women have so many phenomenal stories and so much give back to us. And we didn't do anything. We just show up and take them fishing. It's crazy. Sorry for getting so emotional, but it means a ton to me. Bill, talk about the show real quick. Let's just sum it up real quick. We got 9 minutes left. Let's sum it up real fast. What's going on at Orange County Fairgrounds?
So we have our show March 7th through the 10th, Thursday, Friday, 12 to 7, Saturday, 10 to 7, and Sunday, 10 to 5. It is now the largest gathering of fishing boats and travel. It's the largest show in Southern California now. Bring your families. We have the trout pond for the kids. We've got the Gallo Taco fish prints with free shirts for the kids. We have falconry. We have Jay Prehistoric bringing stuff. It's just a time for everyone to celebrate our passion for the ocean and our passion for fishing and the outdoors. So again, the War Heroes side of it is so important to us to raise that money in now migrating to be that show now. That is extremely important to us, that everyone see that it's great that we can put this together with all these fancy boats and all these neat manufacturers, but we definitely want to make sure that we give back to the community, and that's in doing this War Hero stuff. And again, I get as much out of it personally to see this help for these guys than anybody. It's just a part of what we believe is right. So, but yeah, the show's going to be fun. It's going to have great seminars. It's going to have tons of boats, all the manufacturers, great deals. Come out and bring your family. It's going to be an amazing event. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and there'll be a bunch of exhibitors coming to the party on Friday night. And gang, I want you to understand, you can talk to me, you can talk to Bill, you can talk to Anthony when we're at that event on Friday night. Find out what's really going on with this thing. We're very approachable. We want to share with you what's going on. The whole event Friday night is all about gathering up more funds for War Heroes on Water. It's all about gathering as much as we can. And like we talked about in the beginning of the show, if you have a roofing company, if you have a tire company, if you have a helicopter company, if you have a balloon, whatever your company is, we guarantee you, and Anthony will tell you right now, there is going to be somebody that will bid on whatever you're going to donate. Somebody is going to bid on it. It has nothing to do with what you have, gang. It has to do with making sure that these people can give their money. Everybody wants to give now that they listen to the show, right, Anthony? I mean, any product, you make hats, donate.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing right now with Bill, and the main silent auction will be done the week before it leads up to the tournament. That silent auction, I would encourage everybody to go on. We have just amazing prizes, sporting tickets. Last year we had backstage passes to rock concerts, and I personally donated a world tour trip, 2 world tour trips, as well as some other trips with Team Bad Company. Everyone, just steps up, and last year I think we raised $500,000 in that silent auction. So even if you have 4 tickets to Chuck E. Cheese, man, just donate it. It's every little bit helps.
And Mike Nars is back on here again, or he never got off, but he's saying, gang, he'll be in the booth. You can come by and talk to Mike. He'll be in the booth every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can talk to Mike. You can talk to some of the other War Heroes in the booth. Bill, what's that booth number?
It is 504 and 505.
So you guys want to stop by, talk to the guys, talk to the gals, see what's really going on. You heard me talk about it. You heard Anthony talk about it, but Bill is giving back like you can't believe. But when you stand and talk to Mike Nars, and you'll find out how important this really, really is. You'll find out right then when you talk to Mike and you see it in his eyes how important this event is and how it saved so many of his friends' lives, then you will really get it. You will really understand. Real quick, gang, I want to thank Anthony and Bill for being a part of the show today. I want to let you all know that we're going to do another little show on Monday, but there will be no more shows next week after Monday. I'll be fully involved with this show up in Orange County, the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. I want to say something real quick, Bill. The line at your show the last few years has been mind-bending. Gang, if you don't pre-buy your tickets, you're going to be standing in line to get your tickets. And it's not bad. There's going to be so many people in the industry that are there. It's a who's who of the industry, plus the energy you feel when you're walking around with all these people that have the same passion that you have. It's a win-win, but I don't want you to get there and then walk out and have to stand in the line to get your ticket and then turn around and stand in the line to get in. Both lines are going to be huge. Pre-buy your tickets. Elliot will throw the QR code up here. Those of you that are listening, and we have a lot of people listening on Spotify, Apple, and Mega. Bill, how can they get the tickets online? What's the website?
They can go to sportfishingfestival.com, and there's a buy tickets button on there, and all the information for the seminars and hours and everything is on the site.
Wonderful. Anthony, Bill, thank you so much for being a part of this show, gang. All right. This was phenomenal. Elliot, thanks for producing a phenomenal show. Everybody, Bill, Anthony, and I will see you at the show. Anthony, I'll see you Friday. I can't wait to see you, buddy.
Yeah, man. See you guys.
Thank you, everybody. Talk to you Monday. Have a great weekend. Turn off the news. Remember, they're all lying. This is the only place you